So first things first, we disconnect the battery. If you don't want to disconnect the battery, or you think you're not going to use any water or wash down the engine, you probably don't need to worry about it. I just do it as a safety measure, and then once the battery is disconnected, we can get into the real work. This first part of the video, we're focusing on removing the front trim and the front bumper. If you want to get to the water pump or just service the water pump, you don't have to worry about this part, so you can sort of skip forward to about the 2-minute mark. From 2 minutes onwards, we focus on the engine bay and what you'll need to remove. Note here, if you just only want to remove the intercooler, read this next note and sort of pay attention to it, because there's actually a bit of a shortcut in the removal of the intercooler, and it can save you a lot of time. You sort of don't have to go through this entire process. Yeah, it's definitely a shortcut, and here it is. If you just want to get at the intercooler at this point, you can skip forward in the video to about the 13-minute, 30-second mark, and it sort of skips all the engine bay work. You don't need to strip the engine bay for the intercooler. So for the water pump removal, it basically, if you focus on from the 2-minute mark, from 2 minutes onwards to about 12 minutes, that should give you enough information to just remove the water pump comfortably. I'm pretty sure you can figure out most of it yourself at that point, but from 2 minutes to the 12-minute mark, definitely you can just remove the water pump if you have to.
So to get more deeper into the job now, we're going to start removing some of the things from the engine bay. There's a lot that's got to come out. If you follow the Haynes manual, they're pretty minimalist. They don't remove extra things. I like to remove extra things just to make room and make it easy to work around. Just remember with these intercooler lines that these are two different sizes. There's a large and a small. You can see the small one. The smalls go together and the large go together. This hole is a large diameter, this one is a small, or vice versa. You have to figure it out. But they're two different sizes, so they're not interchangeable. Don't mix them up. Now down here you can see the orange tap. That's to drain the radiator. So I've just got the hose set up there. It's plugged into the side of the tap. Sometimes you need some pliers to turn it. It gets stuck. But as you can see, it just drains slowly. If you want to speed up the process, you can squeeze the hose, and over here, the blue cap, you can take it off and it lets the air drain through the system, so that speeds up the process a little bit. But you want to drain the radiator, and the cooling system is about 10 litres, so have a 10-litre bucket spare. You want to keep this fluid and reuse it. Genuine Mercedes coolant's actually really expensive, so you just want to keep it and reuse it. When you remove the overflow, remember there's a hose at the bottom that connects to the radiator, there's a hose at the top, and there's the electronic sensor, so all three need to go. Just remember guys, when you're removing the bottom radiator hose, have something underneath to catch the extra water, because it's probably still going to have some in the system. Just remember, catch that extra fluids, so just put a drip pan underneath. This is the hose clamp that connects to the turbocharger. The turbocharger is here. This hose will connect up to it. This clamp only goes on one way, which is facing the top the way it is. Here's a video of the turbocharger connecting hose and the two pieces that I was talking about. So this actually presses inside there to make a seal around the turbocharger. This is a tricky part. You need to do this, and it helps having the right tools for the job. For here, you need a 17mm socket, and in here you need a drill bit or a piece of steel that's 3mm, and I'll show you why. This is the belt tensioner. So in here, this is a 17mm socket which will go over the top of that cap in here, and you need a 3mm drill bit to go into the hole. I can hardly get the camera in there, but I'll show you quickly right now. Once it goes on, you understand. So the 17mm socket goes in here, and that enables you to decrease and increase the tension on the belt. It really helps if you have a long pry bar the way that I have it. You might say, well, how does it hold in place then? You just can't sit there with your hand holding it. That's what you need the drill bit for. So I can't do this all at once, but the idea is you decrease the slack with the pry bar, and then you insert the drill bit. I think the picture or the video it speaks 1,000 words. It's better than me trying to explain it. You can see that the drill bit has been inserted in that orange hole there, and that enables me to take the belt off now. So you need to do that to be able to get any further. You sort of don't need specialty tools. You just need a 3mm drill piece, 3mm or smaller. You need a 17mm socket to get over, and then you just need a pry bar. Now that you've taken the tension off the belt, you can just leave the 3mm drill bit in the hole, and it's just going to keep the belt slack. You don't remove the belt or anything like that at this point in time. You can just leave it. All you need to do is just take the tension off the belt. The next move is to start to pull the radiator out. At this point in time, your radiator fluid should be practically drained from the system. There should be about 8 to 10 litres of it. Some of it still could be in the radiator. You want to recover that also. But now you can see the shroud, the plastic shroud here. You can pick it up and move it forward now, and there should be plenty of room in the engine bay. The next job is to remove the fan and the shroud at one time. It has to be removed together. So for this next part, you do need a specialized tool. You can buy one of these for about $20 or $30. It'll ship on Amazon, probably from China or something like that. For $20 or $30, it's going to make your life a lot easier, and it's just called a clutch spanner or a peg spanner. And I think they use them on motorbikes, but it's just an all-round peg spanner. I did make a tool also. In the past I've done this job, and I had to improvise and make a tool like this. This is 2 sockets. It literally went over here like this, and then this is a clip tool, and I sticky taped the whole thing together. And I mean, it took a lot of time. for $20 or $30 you can buy one of these. It will just ship from China, and it's just enough to get the job done. So you can see how this peg spanner is handy. It needs to go in the holes here to stop the fan from rotating. If you don't have this, when you try to remove the fan, it's just going to keep on spinning. So we're getting close to probably one of the most difficult parts of the job. If you can get through this part, you're pretty much set for the rest of the job. It looks complicated, but I'll basically explain what's going on. We've got the peg spanner here, and I've attached an extension onto the peg spanner and taped it just so I have the extra leverage and extra room. So this is going to stop the fan from spinning. And then in the center of the fan, to remove the bolt, you need a 5/16 of an inch Allen key. I think it's 8mm. So you can see here now that the socket head is mounted into the front of the fan and it turns freely. Now there's no way to loosen off that bolt without having the peg spanner at the back of the fan in here, stopping it from rotating. So it looks complicated and messy, but this is how it has to be done. At the front here we have the bolt at the front of the fan to remove. Around the back is the peg spanner in the back securing it. So you basically hold one with your right hand, one with your left hand. One stops the fan from spinning, the other one loosens the bolt off, and then the whole fan and this whole entire plastic shroud comes out as one. There's no other easy way to go about it. Once you've slackened the front bolt, it's literally only half a turn. You can just go ahead and just use a simple Allen key to remove the bolt the rest of the way. It's crazy because all you need is to loosen it off just that little bit enough, and then you can just finish it off with a small Allen key there. Fan and the shroud removed, if you're lucky and patient enough to get this far. There's the tools. It's crazy the amount of steps you need to take just to remove these things, but you do need it to make all this space, because you definitely need space. And then as I was saying, here's the water pump here. So if you need to do a water pump replacement, this is a good start, because now look at all the room that you've got. You could probably, if you had the right tools, you probably can remove the water pump from here and swap out the water pump. You can see that the belt is still slackened off and it's still being held in place from the tensioner there. You don't need to remove the belt or anything like that. You can just leave it. If you did want to stop at this point and just service the water pump, you can probably give it a go from here.